At Susanoo's rampage, Amaterasu's anger turned quiet and deep. The supreme administrator of the high plane of heaven abandoned her duties and chose to hide herself from the world entirely. She withdrew into Amano Iwato, the heavenly rock cave, and sealed its heavy door from within. No cries of rage, no screams, only a deep silence remained. In that moment, all light vanished from the high plane of heaven. And at the very same instant, the earth below, Ashihara no Nakatsukuni, was swallowed by complete darkness. Worth noting, the Kojiki's original text never directly calls Amaterasu a sun goddess. Only her name and what just happened make it clear. And there is something more. The fact that both realms fell dark in the same instant reveals a deeper structure. Two worlds sharing a single light source. And it suggests Earth was subordinate to heaven. A dependency exposed only by the administrator's absence. The administrator's absence began to corrode the world at once. Every malevolent spirit took advantage of the darkness, their voices swarming like summer flies, filling every corner of creation. Disasters multiplied. The whole system was collapsing in a chain reaction. With the core administrator down, the world itself was sliding toward total ruin. At this rate, the world itself would cease to exist. The Yaoyorozu no Kami, the myriad gods, were summoned in emergency assembly. The meeting place? Ama no Yasu no Kawara, the bank of the sacred river that flows through the high plane of heaven. In this crisis, one god stepped forward. His name was Omoikane, the god of wisdom and counsel. The other gods entrusted him with the design of the solution. And his conclusion was something no one had expected. Omoikane's plan was complex, precise, strange. It began with the preparation of the devices. First, long crowing birds were summoned from Tokoyo, the eternal land beyond the sea. The image of a rooster crowing at dawn is one shared by nearly every culture on Earth. And the gods made it crow, the activation of a boot signal announcing to the world that dawn had come. Next, the casting of the sacred treasures began. Under the direction of the smith gods, a single mirror was cast. Its name, Yata no Kagami, the sacred mirror. A historical note. Outside the myth, in ancient Japan, a mirror was no ordinary object. To cast one required national-scale technology and resources. And it is this kind of artifact that the myth places at the center of the ritual. Next, the jewel-maker god crafted a string of 500 curved jewels, Yasakani no Magatama. A whole sacred sakaki tree was uprooted from Mount Amanokagu and brought to the assembly ground. On its upper branches, the gods hung the magatama. On its middle branches, the mirror. On its lower branches, the white and blue offerings of cloth. And so, the central apparatus of the ritual was complete. With every device positioned, the priest of the gods stepped forward. Before the rock cave, he intoned the Futo Norito, the formal prayer of the gods, a ritual boot command, the sacred opening declaration. The ceremony had begun. But the Norito was only the first move. And now, the strongest god took his position. Ame no Tajikarao, the god with the mightiest arms among the gods. He concealed himself just beside the rock door, holding his breath. The stage was set. and surely anyone watching would have thought, "Here it comes. They will tear the door open by force." But what began next was a dance. Ame no Uzume leapt atop an overturned tub before the rock cave and began to dance with wild abandon. In a trance, she loosened her garments and her dance grew bold. She forgot the gods before her, forgot herself entirely, and broke past all restraint. And when the myriad gods saw it, they erupted in laughter. A roar of laughter so great that the high plane of heaven itself trembled. This dance, in time, would come to be remembered as the oldest comedic burlesque in Japanese myth. And that laughter reached Amaterasu, hidden inside the cave. And she wondered, "I have withdrawn, and the world should be drowning in darkness. Why then are they laughing so joyfully out there?" Curiosity, an irresistible question, stirred in the heart of the Supreme Administrator, and she opened the rock door, just a crack, from the inside. Then, through the gap, she called out, "What is happening?" It was Ame no Uzume who answered. "There is a goddess here more august than you. That is why we are laughing." At those very words, the priests of the gods held the mirror up to the crack in the door. And what Amaterasu saw peering out was a goddess of radiant light. Not the wavering image of water, but a sharp, living likeness. She had never seen a mirror before. She was shaken. "Has another sun goddess appeared to take my place?" What she saw was her own reflection, and she opened the door a little wider to look more closely. In that very instant, Ame no Tajikarao seized her arm and pulled her outside. A priest stretched the shimenawa, a sacred straw rope, sealing the cave behind her. "Beyond this rope, you may never return." And so, the Supreme Administrator was restored to the world. And here, we must look back and see what truly happened. The gods did not break the door. They did not force it open. They did not beg for her to come out. Amaterasu opened the door herself. What Omoikane had designed was a situation in which the target wanted to come out. A precision instrument aimed at the most subtle vulnerability of all, curiosity. This was not a force reboot. This was a social engineering exploit. A vulnerability exploited not by violence, but by wisdom. The moment Amaterasu emerged, light returned to the world. The darkness that had veiled both the high plane of heaven and the earth below was driven back, swept away by the radiance of the sun. The gods rejoiced. Creation itself broke into celebration. System reboot complete. The administrator had returned to her throne. And then, judgment was passed. Upon Susanoo, the cause of all this, the myriad gods imposed a severe punishment. The Kojiki records. They cut his beard and extracted the nails of his hands and feet. And he was banished forever from the high plane of heaven. Account ban. From the realm of the Supreme Administrator, he was wholly removed. And so this tale comes to its close. But something it left behind still reaches us today. The two artifacts forged in this episode, Yata no Kagami and Yasakani no Magatama, became two of Japan's three sacred treasures. For more than 1,000 years, they have served as proof of imperial succession itself. Today, the mirror is enshrined at Ise, the Magatama within the imperial palace. But are the contents truly the artifacts of the gods? Honestly, no one knows. By tradition, the boxes have never been opened, not even by the emperor himself. And yet, whether the contents are real does not matter. What matters is the consensus that something too sacred to be seen is truly there. That shared belief, unbroken for 1,300 years, is the artifact itself. And it is still online. And one more thing. The wild dance Ame no Uzume performed, the dance that brought the myriad gods to laughter, is considered the origin of Kagura, the sacred Shinto dance still performed at shrines across Japan today. The spirit of that one dance before the rock cave still echoes. The third sacred treasure, the sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi, will reveal itself in a story yet to come.